Welcome back, everybody, to Vital's B Practice podcast presented by Maxis and Berg Tech. This is your host, Jason Schroeder, and on today's episode, I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Dakotah Norton. Unfortunately, our other normal co-host, Tanner Stevens, wasn't able to join this week. We're able to have special guest, Dante Silva, join us on the pod. Dante is my favorite Super Grom. He's had a great 2025 season racing domestically. He was able to put down a great run in Lake Placid last week and to finish 16th at his only World Cup of the year. As always, we kept this one pretty laid back, chatting about the new track and the loose, unpredictable conditions, how the vibes of US World Cup compares to a European round, how Dante and Dak's race weekends went, tire choice, bike setup, the strain of a race weekend mentally and physically, as well as Dante's switch from racing World Cups to being a US-only racer, plus a bunch of other debauchery as usual. I hope you enjoy this conversation. Thank you, as always, for listening. And if you're in the need for some fresh rubber, can't go wrong with some Axis tires. They actually just updated their Dissector model. It's kind of looking like a mini Azagai tire now, which makes it a faster rolling rear tire option compared to a DHR2. Makes it pretty sweet for trail or enduro riding. Or as a front tire, it's a pretty solid choice for short travel bikes to give you a bit more side knob support. And if you are in need of any contact point components, definitely give Berg Tech a look. I feel like they get a little bit slept on here stateside, but they've got premium, high-quality parts in nearly every category with some very clean, minimalistic branding. Check them out if you need to update your bars, stem, grip, saddles, flat pedals, axles, chain rings, C-post clamps, etc., etc. All right, enough of me rambling. I hope you enjoyed this show. Let's talk about some downhill bike racing.
Sure. No, we want to hear about Moto Nations first, brother.
You want to hear about it?
Hold on.
Okay. Well, originally, like 6 months ago, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Lake Placid. I'm going to go to the US Open. Or maybe I'll try to get to MSA. And then as we've gotten closer, there wasn't a need for me to go. We have people covering the race. Lawler crushes it. We got Jack taking photos, all that stuff. And so I was like, well, I mean, me and Spen were chatting. It was like, yeah, like we don't really have a need for you to go out there. And I'm unfortunately busy enough with other stuff. I'm like, I guess I won't go. And then my dad and I have been talking about like Motocross Nations for a while. And when I knew I didn't have to go to Lake Placid, I'm like, we should really do this. Like, we don't know how often it'll be in the States. And why not? You know, we've always wanted to go to a national that's not like Paula or Hangtown or like a very dry West Coast looking one. Yeah. So yeah, man, we sent it. It was cool. We like flew to Chicago, spent a day or like half a day in Chicago, and then drove down to Indianapolis and spent one morning doing the museum at the Indianapolis Raceway, Motor Speedway, whatever it's called. I don't follow car racing for anybody out there who's like, how do you not know what it's called? But that was actually pretty cool. For someone who does not know cars at all, I'm like reading all the plaques. I'm like, this shit's crazy. And then, yeah, dude, the racing was sick. It was like, I don't know, fucking crazy. I really want to go to one in Europe now. Like, it was really cool from like an American standpoint because like American fans show up, everybody's like crazy, but also like that really nice Midwest vibe, which was cool. But I think going to one in Europe where you would have more fans from different countries would be really neat because watching was wild. Like as Tomac and J Coop were coming around, you could hear the crowd cheering with them around the whole track, but then it would be kind of chill for everybody else. And I imagine in Europe, it's just nonstop people cheering. But yeah, it was sick. After the third moto, they let everybody on like the track for the podium, which was behind the start. And then my dad and I went and like walked the whole track afterwards. And yeah, it was pretty sick. So
was it gnarly?
So not really, honestly. I think that they it sounds like they didn't rip it super deep like maybe they do for the national, but then they didn't really fix too many things. So there was like corners that were definitely gnarly ruts, but that track isn't that crazy. Like Ironman, I mean, I don't ride dirt bikes, and besides some of like the bigger jumps that I would have to like roll the tables or whatever, you could easily ride around the whole thing. It's not super gnarly. The dirt was insane. It was like the grippiest clay sand mixture I've ever like walked on. It was nuts.
It's crazy how much they work on the dirt at those tracks,
dude.
Like,
yeah. Seriously though, because like it's really dry, or was really dry there. It was clearly they haven't had rain in forever. Like everywhere we were standing was just like silty powder, but the track was like hero dirt because they were just constantly watering it. Yeah. Yeah, man, I don't know. It was neat. It was cool to say we went to. It was a bit of a scent. It was a long 3 days because we were staying like 45 minutes away from the track because just in the middle of nowhere. It was cool to go to Indiana because now I don't have to ever go back there. There's really no draw. It's the most cornfields I've ever seen in my entire life.
You got to think that's where I'm from.
I actually thought about you a few times.
I'm Grand Rapids, Michigan, but like it's the same thing. It's
all
all the same.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're from up there, you're like, yeah, wow. Yeah, it's like even weird now. I've come up to Mount St. Anne. We're driving to Mount St. Anne. We're driving across Canada. And once we got above the mountains, I was like, wow. It looks really weird here. And I was like, oh yeah, there's no mountains. That's the same way I feel when I go home. Like it doesn't exist.
I'm always like, what do you do for fun when you live somewhere like that?
Ride skate parks, ride dirt bikes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. Yeah.
Dante.
Drink a bunch of Bud Light.
Yeah.
That's actually what I was gathering.
Some unhealthy people.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Whistling Diesel?
Yeah.
That guy's sick.
Okay, that does make more sense. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I definitely felt like I was standing out a little bit at the moto track just because like everybody was.
Look at this California guy.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Just
yeah.
screaming San Diego.
I was wearing Adidas. You know that.
There you go.
Right alone, I stood out a little bit. No, it was cool, man. Like it was sick to go to. I didn't go to any nationals this year, and yeah, I mean it was a little bittersweet though because I was like not that close, but closer to where the World Cup was happening. It was cool to be on East Coast time so I could kind of watch it live as it was happening. But it got me. I felt a lot of FOMO because the race looked like it went off so well, and I was like, oh, I really wish I was there. So,
dude, and US World Cups are just such a vibe, honestly.
Yeah. So
like
okay, that was
all the
question.
Euros are even like excited to be somewhere new. As much as they complain, they love the States. They love coming over here.
They love it.
We're stoked to be home.
Yeah.
Like everyone's
like,
happy.
Don't act like you don't like it.
Oh, dude, they complain, but they love it.
What okay, how would you say the turnout and the crowds and like the vibe compares to other World Cups? Like Leger seems like the World Cup in Europe that's always has the most turnout of people. Do we compete on that level?
Not really.
No.
It was pretty small this year, and I don't know if was Des Nations this last weekend. Like, was it overlapping weekend? So maybe we lost some people due to Des Nations. Maybe it was rural, but in my opinion, the spectator turnout was quite small.
Yeah,
maybe 20,000.
Okay,
not 50.
Yeah,
that's for sure. You know,
small but passionate.
Small but passionate. Yeah. I think it's different. Like we had a different vibe because we're American, right? So it was loud. For me, it was like actually silly.
Yeah,
like
that's so
I couldn't even ride. I was just like, it was just noise. Like in practice, dude. Like of race day, it was crazy.
Yeah.
On Saturday, it was gnarly, huh?
Felt like a World Cup.
Yeah. Well, Dante, you were in the USA jersey, which probably didn't help you hide.
No, I know. But everyone was like, USA, USA. Yeah. Every time I'd pass by, like everyone was just frothed out.
I thought that was the most baller thing ever. Like being in finals and a Federation jersey, like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That does not happen anymore, you know?
Yeah, nowadays it's super rare.
Yeah. That was sweet.
And the high number plate too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
One shy away. Crispy got the good one. I had 60.
Yeah.
I did see that. Yep.
Hey, don't get me started on this weekend. Listen, I'm gonna have to start barking at you in here. This boy come down. He comes down, puts one on me in qualifying, and then puts one on me in final.
Like, what was it? 2 spots in qualies and 1 in finals? Couch.
I'm like, dude. It's like, dude. No, I had my own set of issues all weekend, but dude, sick. Honestly, genuinely, that was really cool to see. And it was like, I guess it would be your mom and dad.
Yep.
They were standing, like I knew your dad, but I've never actually, I don't think met your mom. They're standing like kind of on the edge of the crowd of people at the finish line corral when I came down. And then like they were there when I was there when you came down, and it was like pretty dang cool. Like they were like jazzed, you know, but they were like standing all by themselves. And it was kind of cool because you came out. I was like, how about that? Like,
yeah,
that's sick.
That it was so sick that my parents were there and my mom was so excited because she's like, well, after quali, she was like, oh my God, what the heck? I mean, because I didn't know, like, you know how it is, Dak. Like, I was off almost as long as you, obviously for different reasons, but like being on the circuit, you just don't even know what the pace is or what everyone's riding. Like, from when you're looking at results, you're like, it's ridiculous out there. Like, the times are way tighter. Everyone seems to be riding way faster for somehow. Like, it just in 1 year. So it's just like, damn, can we keep up? And I think the track definitely helped though, because all the Euros are like thrown for a loop as well.
Yeah, I would say like seeing the rounds that you did, like how dusty it was at the race in Utah, and then it was super dusty at national championships. And it seems like for you, that was maybe almost like and being from Southern California, riding there in the summer, did it kind of feel like your whole season led up to like a good run into that race to be like able to handle those conditions?
Yeah, but I always feel like I'm pretty good when it comes to like it being sketchy in terms of like either super duper dusty or super wet and like slimy. I don't do good when it's like pretty good and everyone's going super fast.
that's my bread and butter, baby.
Yeah.
When it's like when it's consistent and you can absolutely hang it out, I'm sick. That's when I shine. When it's sketchy, I'm like, I don't know how fast to go. Like, you make mistakes. But dude, like US Open on race day, it was prime, and I was like, y'all boys better buckle up.
Well, that's what's so annoying, dude, is like you watch all the replays from US Open, and then you watch Dak, and then you watch him and you're like, he's going slow. No, he's not. He's 4 seconds up. Like, super annoying, you know, because you're like, he's not even looking like he's working that hard. You have some dudes that like it looks like a different track where it's like, oh my God, they look like they're just putting all of their effort in, and it's not going super fast. But Dak, it's like, yeah, he's cruising, and then he's 2 seconds up at the second split. You just find that like perfect flow, and it's good.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually quite interesting. I'm not trying to steal your thunder here, and I wanted to talk more about your race on, but it is an interesting thought because when it's really consistent, and I got in the starting gate at US Open, and it was just like a chill weekend, right? And I wasn't in my own head, and I just got in and was like, you know what? Let's just put the best run down we can. And I did almost crash in the middle of the run and lost some time, and I thought for sure the run wouldn't do it, but I rode everything else so well collectively. It didn't feel like I was hanging it out, and it didn't feel like I was making mistakes. I did have one mistake that was like, I definitely made a mistake, but it was almost felt so easy.
Right.
And I've struggled like this season, and that's the same feeling I've had like when I got fourth at Fort William last year, when I qualified fastest at Poland, when I was able to, all my successes last year, Leger qualifying when I won, it felt so easy. It's like I didn't even think about it. I just got in the starting gate and rode and ripped. And now like coming back from injury, it's almost like I've been in my own head, and I've been like, oh, how fast do I go? How much do I need to push?
How do I approach it?
Yeah, and I like think so much about it because it's a World Cup, and then I get in the gate at the U.S. Open, don't even think about it, and I'm like talking to some random dude 10 minutes before I go up in my pit that I met at the local tavern, and I go and win the U.S. Open, and then I like come to these things, and I'm like, absolutely, like last week at Placid, I absolutely override it, and then just freaking jam it up because it's like it's almost like I just wish I could care less. And I feel like maybe that simplicity of just like, hey, coming in for one World Cup, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna I have no expectations. I'm gonna put the best run down I can. I'm gonna ride as fast as I can because at the end of the day, I don't have much to lose. Like, and then all of a sudden you come down and you're like 10th in finals or 10th on qualifying, and it's like almost probably felt easy to you.
It did, yeah. And like, the good ones always do on Dak. Like the good runs, which is easy. Like so frustrating because it's like, well, how do I do that every time? It's so easy. Why does it always seem so hard? My dad's like, well, what did you do different? Nothing.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, literally, like, I think watching, like when I watch you ride Dak, especially like at US Open, like that's how I like to ride too. And I think that's why I do good when it's really technical and really blown out and like or wet, because I just try to be smooth and just try to get like a good overall flow, like good average speed. And so it works out because other people overcook it and mess up and stuff. But when it's like, I want to get to your point where it's like when it's good, I could still find that flow. So it's like you don't have to ride like you're exploding every corner. You know what I mean? Like it's like you can do it over and over again pretty much. It's almost like a practice run, but just with pedals.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally like, and I think that's something, Dante, that I've found, like, even in time training, sometimes I'll do my first time training run and I just won't pedal. And then you add a little more intensity and see where, and you do 2 runs, you see where you add up. And I think that's like a good way to build. And it's kind of the same, like it was the same, like for like quali semi, and then you arrive to the race run and then you just do your best run. But it's like now with Q1, Q2, it's like you have to go to that intensity straight away. It's not like you get through top 60, build, and then build, you know? So like that's been a really hard one for me, is like I almost felt like, especially not having the maturity with the sketchy conditions on the weekend, I wanted to build on the race run and there was nothing left to build. Like there was you couldn't go any faster. You almost had to ride the exact same run as what you did in qualifying. And I tried to go above and beyond, you know, puff my chest out. It's a American World Cup. I think I can do well. Like I want to get a good result. And then now I'm in it for what I consider my capability. Like I think, like I've stated before, if I have a good run, I think I can be a top 5 guy at the moment with my condition, my limited one leg strength.
We don't like to talk about his condition.
Yeah, but like I feel like I can't compete to win, but I can be like towards the back of 5 to 10, and I think if I don't have a good run, and then I'm kind of where I was 15 to 20. And that's for me kind of what it's been on the race weekend. And I've definitely struggled with being able to be strong enough to have like world-class foot pressure in those conditions. Like when it's consistent with my instability, I can ride really fast. But if it's slippery, I'm just not good enough to be competitive with the top guys, just due to the foot pressure it takes to be world-class in that. But also I think there's a factor of that is like wanting to prove what you're capable of. It's almost really hard to do in those conditions because it's really easy to override it. And they're like almost like takes over a bit. So I was curious for you, like, okay, you're over the moon, you do incredible in qualifying, super sick, come down, knocked my teammate out, sent him into the qualifying 2. You're straight through Q1.
Shout out Ronan.
And for the race run, dude, like how did you approach race day?
Dude, I tried my best to ride it like qualifying because I knew it was going to be so messed up. And I was like so curious to see how it was going to be for race run, just because I felt like morning practice was definitely rougher than qualies, than Q1. And because we didn't get to ride Q2, and like Ravelli told me, he was like, dude, Q2, the track was gnarly. And I was like, oof. So then morning practice on Saturday, I was like, okay, it's pretty gnarly. Like literally just do the same thing as quali. Like, because Q1, same thing, Dak. It felt easy, dude. I got up there. I was like, just don't even worry about anyone else. Just do your own run. Get your lines. Bro, I was 29th to split 2 in Q1. I made all of my time from split 2 to the finish.
No way.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, obviously, like, it was probably a bit of a big shocker for a lot of the Euros, like, because it was so flat at the bottom. It was like a traditional American, like, World Cup,
love
or
it.
American national, you know? It's like what we race. So, like I said, like, I feel like your whole season, like, of your main races, the ones that were really the most important for you, I feel like just built you into the perfect run up for this weekend. Like, as good as it could get, I think, like from the carrying speed on flat slippery stuff, riding, you know, like I'm sure you ride Big Bear a lot. Like the bottom to me was a lot like Big Bear.
Yeah.
Like not quite as dusty and as blown out, but like kind of a similar thing, you know, like some rougher like flat corners and
Sector 3 was very much like Big Bear.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
That was the one like in the woods where you crashed and broke your frame deck. Is that one?
The little woods. Yeah.
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 That did
Which-
look very big. It looked fun, honestly, from just like cruising it, but it also
Dude,
looked
I
really
got-
unpredictable.
I got second in that sector in Q1.
I was just looking
No
at that.
way.
Yeah.
That's super sick.
So it's like,
Dang.
obviously I was vibing with that. I told my dad too in practice, I was like, I feel really good in that section. And he was like, sick.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't
way.
know. And then so yeah, race day, just try to do the same thing. But yeah, I got a little greedy, just trying to get a little too quick in a couple sections. And it's hard to tell, like from
Same.
outside perspective, you could definitely like would say it's not a messy run. But in my head, it was so messy because I knew what it felt like to get it clean.
mhm.
So it's like you're like, oh, jabbed a break there, oh, got stood up, and especially that it was like so sketchy. If you got the flow good, it was very rewarding. Like it
Mhm.
felt
Yeah.
really good.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was just a little messy in my race run, but I mean, who
Same.
wasn't?
Yeah. Well,
Dude.
so you finish 16th.
Yeah,
Another top 20. What'd you say? It's like your fifth top 20 or
I
something
think it's
like
my
that?
fifth top 20. Yeah,
Yeah. Closing your best. Did that exceed what you were hoping for going to the weekend?
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just because, like I said, I had no idea
Hmm.
what my pace was at, even though,
You've had a good year though.
yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
you're
say,
paid.
even
You've been fast all year.
Yeah.
Dude. Like
I
really
feel
good.
like, thank you, Dak. And I feel like mentally too, I've been able to try to get like to my best every weekend, it seems like. You know what I mean? Or like close to it. Close enough to where I could get good results. And so it's like I was just like, okay, just do the same thing that I've been doing. Don't even treat it any differently. And I did, and it worked out. And I think this year I've just been not worrying about anyone else. And like not worrying about what other people, how they're riding, how fast they are. Before I would try to like hop in behind people. Now I'm just like solo runs, just figure out about getting my runs in dialed for me so I could do it when the time counts, you know?
Do you think that's sweet to hear. Do you think any of that maybe has to do with kind of like your shift in your program from being on a World Cup team for a couple of years and going to World Cups and like the expectation that comes with racing that series? And then this year it was like, I'm going to do a US program or North American program, like what you have said with Intense and John, and like it just feels like maybe a bit lower pressure all
Yeah.
around. Do you think that's
Like-
helped also?
For sure. I think it's more of like just doing it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And like as much as of course I want to do good for Intense and stuff like that,
Mhm.
it's definitely it's not super high resource team. Like I love
Mhm.
my team and we have everything that we need,
Mhm.
but it's not like, yeah, we're not big bucks or anything like that. So it's definitely like I'm getting the results because I want to do it for me and to better my career and just because I want to do good.
Mhm.
When before there's always that like I want to stay employed. You know what I mean?
Dog, I feel you.
Yeah. It's when you're on the World Cup team, you're overseas and you're there, and then Fabian's right there, like whistling at you and stuff, and you're like, I gotta perform.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't mess up and don't go slow. It's like super stressful all the time.
Yeah. No, I can
You're
imagine.
gonna know. You're gonna know if you're going slow. If
Yeah,
you're like taking some time to work into it, you know.
that's so hard, especially when you're like, I feel like Dak and I are similar in that sense. Where we're just cruising around first 4 laps. You know what I mean? We're feeling the pace, maybe like pushing like 20 seconds of this track or whatever, but like you are not throwing down heaters when some dudes are hucking their life by 3rd lap. It's like that's just not my
Who was
style.
hucking their life by 3rd lap this weekend?
Pinkerton.
Okay. Could have guessed that, I guess.
The dude could race 5th run.
It's so
Ready to go.
crazy, man.
I love
It's
that.
nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. You can get up to speed so fast. It's like, bro. But that's just
What were
I
you
mean-
telling me at US Open, Dak? You were saying something like, yeah, try to toss her in a couple of those corners, but it just didn't come out the way some of these kids are doing it. I was like, I feel you, Dak. I don't know how they're doing it. They're just throwing themselves into these corners and just coming out with speed somehow.
yeah. I'm just like, what's happening?
Oh God.
Like, there's 2 Mondrakers out here, and one's not working like the other.
They're not
Same bike.
comparable. Yeah.
They're all the same. Clearly, there's something wrong with mine.
Inputs are a little different.
Oh,
No,
it's
it's
amazing.
Yeah, Pinky's so good at that. It's insane. But yeah, and there's some dudes that are just up to speed so fast. And I think that so for me, it's like getting up to speed fast, but then maintaining. It's because I feel like I've been, let's call it good. How many races were in the second block? What was it like? I was good at like Andorra on. So like Andorra, we came back to Val di Sole maybe. No, Val di Sole was earlier on. I don't remember what
Was it
races
La
were in the
Tuile?
second half. No, I sucked there. But that was before my comeback. Let's call it.
Okay.
Hey, I gotta look at me.
What, you had Leger? I don't know why I'm so bad
Yeah.
at this
Yep.
too.
What is happening?
Hey. Leger, if you guys can't see that, if you guys are listening to the podcast, there was like fireworks going off in the
Yeah.
chat here. I got a thumbs up bubble, and then I put two
Dak
thumbs
was
up,
in
and I
4th
got
of July.
fireworks. Yeah. Ooh, there we go again.
dude.
Oop, there it is. Come on now. But yeah, I don't know what those rounds were on the side. I don't even remember what rounds we raced. We raced
So
Leger,
you came back in Leo.
Champery, Leger.
So you had
Champery.
Leo Gang, Val di Sole, La Tuile. You didn't qualify,
Sucked.
and then Andorra, you were 10th. Came
Yep.
back 3rd at Natty's, 26th at Leger, 9th at Worlds, and 15th at Lenzerheide.
9th at
okay.
Worlds. Wow, Dak, that's good.
Mhm.
Thanks, man.
Mhm.
But then again, it was consistent at that race. It was like the conditions were good. It was a lot of berms, and I was able to be world class. Or close to it right there. And I didn't feel like I had the best run. I really messed up on like a pretty flat corner into that shoot it at Worlds. But what I'm trying to say with this before I forget what I was going to say is I don't remember what I was going to say. What was I
Damn
talking
it, Dak.
about? Damn, Daniel.
He didn't have his protein shake for his coffee.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The second half of the year, I don't remember why I was explaining this. Yeah. I don't remember what we were talking about right now.
After you had your breakthrough.
Yeah.
Why am I forgetting?
remember.
You did this to me. Why am I forgetting what we were talking about?
Forgot because I was like, anyways, after the breakthrough, I like started to gain some confidence, and then it was like, I don't remember what we were gonna say. But anyways, yeah. Moving on. I derailed myself so much.
Yeah,
trying to
that's the end
figure
of the
out what
podcast.
race.
Thanks for listening.
Keep
See you
doing your
next
blood
week.
work.
Probably not.
Keep doing your blood work.
Yeah.
Plug it into Chat GPT.
Yeah,
What
plug it
was I
in.
just
Losing my
talking
train
about?
of thought on the podcast. What do I take?
What would you recommend for this?
Yeah. That's funny.
The pace of the racing.
Oh yeah.
I was talking about the pace of the racing. So after I've come back to have a bit of success and be able to get in through Q1 the last 3 rounds, like I didn't know what the pace was when we're talking about going into the finals. And I've actually had to like where I'm used to building, it's like I have to build so fast to Q1 and then I almost just have to like not try anymore. And so I don't go over the limit because my formula of building for the final run, what I think was really good as you could see in 23, 22, my intense years, I would go like 30, 15, and 15 in semifinal, and then I'd be in the top 10 for finals. And like I had a really good build, but now it's like I almost have to go to that pace and then not push anymore. And it's been so hard for me because I haven't been that fast until the second half of the season, and my pace is rapidly changing. I'm getting faster every week, so it's like really easy for me to. I haven't had the whole season to figure out this equation. So it's like I almost just show up, and what I feel I need to do in finals, I don't need to do. So it's been super difficult. Is what I was going to say, to find that pace and rework that equation for the new format.
And what's like the average amount of runs you get before Q1?
But that's the thing, dude. I would always do 5 or 6 runs. And if I was in the top 20 in time training, all good. And then I'd do 3 runs the next day, quali semi. And now it's like 8 runs the first day. I'm panicking to get runs. I'm not wanting to stop on the side of the track to look at things because I'm I'm a rider that needs to see what I'm riding over to ride. And it's like, I get 8 runs the first day. but I feel like I can't even really build the pace until I walk. Like I have to like walk it, ride it, walk it again, really get a good look at it, and then I'm able to go fast. Where some of these guys are able to just like fifth run, they barely even looked at it, and they're honestly on race pace. So it's man, it would, like I said, for you, it would be so hard to like jump into that. Simple, yes, because it's just like, okay, go ride as fast as I can. But at the same time, like knowing what that pace is so difficult.
Yeah. And I think that's why Lake Placid went so well for me too, though, is because fifth run, first day of practice, there was a lot of dudes that were still like, I don't know how to go fast on this, which is great for me. You know what I mean? Because I was like, neither do I. No one does. This is good. When, like you go, even for me, that's why I said in like Win TV, I was like, dude, I'm 100% sure if I went to Lenzerheide 2 weeks prior, I would have gotten smoked. Just because I wasn't on that Europe like bike park crazy laps, like 15 laps a day at Schladming or whatever that everyone was doing all summer, where you're just like at that tapped bike park pace every single day of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got used to like the national races where I do get the whole weekend to build to my race run. You know, you go practice, you get a time run, you go 4 seconds quicker on seeding day. You wake up in the morning with my GoPro, go like close to seeding time, and then I go faster in race day. Like it was like a perfect little routine. And so it just gets, like you're right, Jack. It's so hard to go, 8 runs. Yeah, now we have to go put the run down of my life. And then, like you said, you're maxed out. So literally just try to do the same thing on finals day because no one's going faster that much.
Yeah.
It seems like a nice equalizer, you going to a round that was first for everybody this year. I mean, that's always been the story of Americans going overseas to race World Cups. If you go to Fort William, where they've been racing for 20 some odd years or whatever, and everybody there, like during track walk, it's like a social event because everybody knows exactly where they're going. The same rock is there from 5 years ago. And like where here, you know, it's fair for everybody. And maybe the conditions, I would say, are a little bit SoCal, but nothing chops up like a World Cup track. You know?
Right. Yeah,
so,
you can't. The holes were ridiculous. Especially Aaron set us up with like pre-moguls that were ready to just get murdered. He was like, this is going to get so bad.
It did look cool. From watching it, it did look sick.
Dude.
Just get buck wild, dude.
I had this thought when I was at MXFN because that was a long event for a moto event. Usually Outdoor National is like practice, quality, race all on the same day, right? Where Motocross of the Nations, it's like they get like a practice day, then they have a qualifying day, then qualifying racing, and then it's a 4-day event. And World Cups are pretty long as well. It made me start thinking about like, what if we like speed this shit up? Like, what if we make it a 2-day event or something? I know that there's downside. I know that there's like conflict, but why not? I still think competition would be good. And maybe I started thinking about it too in Luke Meyer-Smith's interview with Win, because he was commenting on kind of what you guys are talking about, building speed. And he's struggled the last 2 years where he knows he's fast. But if you go through like Q2, how do you all of a sudden find even more speed for a third time come race run? And I think it's why, especially on this track where those first 2 splits were so decisive because they were so unpredictable. I mean, Luca lost the race there and then, you know, clawed back a crazy amount of time. But like a lot of people, I think both of you guys included, like had issues up there. Then a lot of it was from just like, well, I have to go faster. And in the moment, you're like, I'm not going faster because I can tell I just blew it here and I break too much here. It seems like if we just had a more condensed event, I don't know. I don't know why maybe we don't do that. Like, I think riders would talk a lot less about burning out when we have back-to-back rounds. There would be, the track maybe wouldn't blow out as much. There would maybe be like less like sending your life because people would not have had those like 2 extra runs to be like killing themselves. Maybe there's a mandatory second track walk or something. I think everybody kind of does a second track walk anyways, right? Majority of people.
I did
usually
last week.
Yeah. See,
wow.
We're just turning into professional hikers at this point. We're not even downhill racers. We're just hiking down mountains. But I don't know. It's a food for thought one, but it kind of seems like it would make a little bit of sense. I mean, a Wednesday to Sunday event, isn't that what this past weekend was? track walk started Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday. Yep. Yeah. Pretty long. I don't know. I think that maybe the one X factor is like Leger, where the lift is slow as hell. So like, how do you make sure everybody gets enough runs versus Lenzerheide, the lift I think was super fast, right? So you're like, oh, I got all the time in the world. I can do as many runs as I need to. Yeah, bit of a tangent, but okay, you get.
I was gonna say it's weird though, because like the 3-day thing, like for me is good because I already got used to going slow, and like me and Dak we were like chilling first day of practice, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that third day. But Dak, do you usually wake up tired on race day?
Dude, every time. I feel like my HRV, like my Whoop always says like 5 to 10% recovery on race day. Like I'm
And
in the red.
I wonder how much of that is stress and like actually just being like your body's drained from the track walk practice and the qualies.
For
It's
me, it's
gotta-
100% stress.
It's got to be so mental because you're on, like you're not just doing 8 runs. Like most mountain bikers go out and do 8 laps, right? But
Literally,
8
dude.
laps where you're like, feels like your life is on the line, knowing exactly where you're going and like squeaking all the time out of it. And it's mentally super draining.
You're like
And
thinking
then-
while you're riding and thinking while you're not riding.
Yeah.
And you're like thinking while you're riding too, like during practice.
Yeah.
And it's hard too because like now the sport has become so media oriented too. It's like people are filming TV videos and then they want you to podcast, and I do my podcast. But it's like
Hey, don't be fucking bitching at me about doing podcasts.
I do my
Just threw a little shot.
podcast. I do my podcast before
Small
the
jab.
weekend, but they're like, "Oh, can you come over and podcast?" Like the downtime guys asked me to podcast a couple of times, like after track walk, and I'm like,
Just
"No,
show them your vital contract.
absolutely not." Yeah, that big monies I be making on Vital. No,
We gotta get this in writing.
but it is one of those things where it's like, oh, all the riders are here. I can easily do this, or we can do that, or can we do interviews? Or
Mhm.
like, it starts to add up, and it's like, and now like I walk the track the first day every time because Q1 is so important. So like you practice till 5, and then you walk, and
Yeah.
you're not down till 7:30. Then you eat dinner, 8, physio 9, and the next day practice is what 9:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
And you got to be in line.
6:37.
And you have to be in line at 8:30 now. Always got to be in outline an hour
So
before
ridiculous.
if you want to maximize your practice. 8:30. So then you're waking up. You're still at work at 9:30 at night. You're waking up at 6 the next day, and it's like that. Yeah, but you go home. There is time to sleep and stuff, but also it's like you go home and you're still thinking the whole time. It never shuts off.
Mhm.
So for me, there's way less downtime at the races than ever with the new format. But you're done. We're done early. If you go through Q1, you're done. Like the race starts so early, but then you're done by what 2:30, 3 o'clock. If you don't go to Q2, you walk it. You're done by 5, and then it's nice because you can relax for the race. But yeah, it's just a lot. There's a lot going on. And I think with the media stuff, there's a lot more than ever. Like I remember when I was on Aaron's team, it was like pretty laid back. I'd go hang out in the pool every day and go back to my hotel room and stuff. And now it's like I don't go back to my hotel room. And maybe it's just because I've grown as a rider and I say yes to more things, but I don't go back to my hotel room at the day at all until I'm done for the day,
Mhm.
which is usually 8 o'clock,
Late.
9 o'clock at night. Yeah.
Yeah. It probably would require them capping rider entries, to a much smaller number. They could probably keep the same amount of riders in finals and then expediting the process of like getting in to finals maybe. But I don't know. I think it could be kind of neat, honestly, if there maybe it was something where you get only X amount of runs in practice and then it goes right into like a semifinal or something. And maybe that semifinal happens the first day, and I don't know. I know it's a lot. I know I'm daydreaming right now. It doesn't really matter. It's never
Well,
going to happen. Let's be honest. The powers that be one day are just going to be like, and if you've won a World Cup, you can race World Cups from now on.
Yeah.
Nobody else can get in.
Dude, it's like top 50 now. UCI ranking to race a World Cup without having to petition. And I think that's like 200 points.
Is that how it's going to be for next year or how it currently is?
I'm pretty sure that's how
Currently.
it currently is.
Well, just
Currently, you
because
have to be
looking
top,
at
ranked
looking
top
at
50 in the world.
entries for World Cups this year, they're always for elite men right around 100 to like 115, which is
Yeah.
still a lot of people. So yeah, it's just a lot of people in general, but
Well, I mean, it used to be 170.
totally, yeah,
You know what I mean?
for
And
sure.
back when Nick was a junior, he said he remembers seeing like 200 elite men
hmm
at
Oh,
the
I'm
World
pretty sure
Cups.
like the first time I went to Leo Gang, it was definitely pushing 200. And like the reality is, I probably shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Same.
I was one of the back 100 that like was just living on hopes and dreams.
Plate 121, trying
Yeah.
to bend the dents back out of my rim so I could continue to ride.
But the
Mhm.
gnarly part is that's like what 100 was double the qualifying, right? But now double the qualifying is 60.
Mhm.
So it's like now the dudes that are in 50, 60, you could technically say the same thing about them. It's like they're just running on hopes and dreams, you know. And it's so gnarly now because 50th place is not slow.
Yeah.
No.
And that's what's
No, it's
crazy.
The thing on the weekend, like I got 17th, which 17th was amazing for you, or 16th was amazing for you, like on the whole thing you're on. But like I came down and like I was like 17th. That ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
Like
No, really.
like that.
That's why
Like seriously.
when people
like
ask
you're-
me, they're like, dude, or you're gonna start racing World Cups? You did so good. And I was like, I didn't do as good as everyone thinks for how the times are now.
Mhm.
Good would have been like 7th. Like that's good. Yeah. Now top 20 is just like mediocre. You need to be top 10 to be valuable as an asset for a team.
Mhm.
Especially, I heard rumors. This is just me. I'm outside of the World Cups, but that it's going to be top 10 teams in 2027, I think. So they're not going to have 15 plus the wild cards. It's going to be like 10 plus 2 wild cards. That's just what I heard. But I was just like, oh, where's everyone going to go?
Home.
Yeah, go get a regular job, right?
Clay Harper's got a popcorn machine, brother.
Yeah, I was just about to say this whole conversation
Yeah, he's just like,
really just comes back to like hopefully this Continental Series thing pans out in all the different countries it's happening, but in the US, Monster Pro Downhill is definitely becoming more and more valuable. And that was a question I had for you. Dante was just like, oh, like you did pretty well at a World Cup. Like, does that get like you itching to go back to racing World Cups? And I know you answered that like with Win in that interview, but you know, I don't know, maybe elaborate on like what it's been like this past year, deciding like I'm not going to Europe, I'm staying stateside. It's gone well for you. And then what's like your perspective next year now? Like you got that taste of a World Cup, but you're still pretty focused on like what I got going is good, you know?
yeah, it's kind of just like I feel like I'm very lucky to have the privilege to kind of like do what I want as well and not necessarily like what I need to. And for me, going to the World Cups is just such a sacrifice because it's like I know what it takes now and I know what the pace is to be like in that top 10 or top 15. And it's like, dude, you kind of just like you have to be in Europe all the time. And you got to put in like 500 runs in the off season now because that's what you hear everyone talking about now. And it's just like 500 runs. Like Benoit did it, Max Hartzenstern did it, and it's like everyone's talking about it. I'm like, I did the math, and it's like I don't know, it was like 40 runs a week or something like that. It was like something crazy for like 5 months straight or something like that. You know, it was like something ridiculous, and I was like, how do you even do that? So then,
How do you afford that?
How do you afford that? Because then, unfortunately for me, my current place right now, if I did get on a team, I'd be getting paid 20K, 30K. And it's like,
who's going to shuttle you that much?
You're just going to hope to break even by the end of the year, really.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all that to then get what? 20th in the overall, 25th if I have a sick season. You know what I mean? It's just like, it just really doesn't make sense for me anymore. And then you have the US where it's like, dude, I won slalom Nat Champs. I won slalom at Crankworks. I got second in the overall for the national series because everyone's busy behind Gwyn. Everyone's busy racing in Europe, like Dax in Europe, Luca's in Europe. You know what I mean? So it's like I have the ability to do well here.
I think you don't discredit yourself either. You did really well at some races when all the big hitters were there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like
6 at nationals, right?
At the end of the day,
nationals.
yeah. sick. That's not saying like, oh, I'm doing good because the boys are gone. You're just doing good. And but those races, you're going to like, this is my time to eat, you know?
Exactly. Like it's like so much focus like you have at the World Cups for my little national races, which is good because it's like I'm able to perform and I'm getting the results that are valuable to the community that I'm in. And so it's like it's working. You know what I mean? All you have to be is just you have to be a valuable asset to whoever's supporting you where you're at. So it's like if I could keep doing that and be home more. So I've been coaching a lot and like getting in with like a team in San Diego that's got like 40 kids, and that's been super awesome. And I can just kind of see like where I'm growing in like my community, and it's just not on the world stage right now, and I'm like perfectly fine with that.
I think
That's
that's
right.
like the thing is you're trying to create value, right, for the people that are supporting you. And I've tried and I've preached this for forever. It's where are you valuable and where are you making a difference? And it's like if you're making a difference, the opportunities will come. And for
Yeah.
some of us, that's racing World Cups. And to be realistic, like the big pot of gold is winning World Cups. But that's
For
really
sure.
tough to do. And but
Yeah.
if you don't, like for me, my focus is still to try to compete against Loris Vergier, Loic Bruni, like the Amari Piron. Like that's the most fulfilling thing for me, and that's the big pot of gold. But it's like if you can't compete against those dudes, like because it is hard because they make a lot of freaking money. Like, and it's hard to, and at the end of the day, like resources are resources. It's hard to compete against those dudes.
Yeah.
You know, they live in Andorra, they can ride year round on really good tracks. They have really good support. They do one team camp a month. They go to all the World Cup tracks ahead of time and test and have the bike ready and go over the lines before the weekend even starts. And it's like,
Yeah.
how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna do that?
How are
Like,
you gonna do that from
Being-
Chula Vista, California?
how are you gonna do that from
Dude.
Chile? You know,
or from like
yeah,
20 minutes or 10 minutes outside of Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Yeah.
it's tough. You know,
It's
like
tough,
super
yeah.
tough, right? But at the same time, with that being said, like if that is not what you're trying to do, making value in your community is going to be amazing. Like you have a good thing, and especially like riding for Intense, like dude, that's selling bikes for them. And at the end of the day, I think people get so far from the like the goal is to win. People want to win, right? But selling bikes is what you're paid to do. Create
Right.
value is
Yeah.
what you're paid to do. Visibility is what you're paid to do. And like you're doing that, which is really cool to see.
Thanks, Dak. No, yeah, and it's just like I think it's just maturing as well, right? Because it's like when you're a junior or I was 18, 19, it's like, yeah, World Cups, World Cups, World Cups. Why would you not want to race World Cups? If I'm getting 30th or 40th of the World Cup, of course I'm valuable. I'm like a 40th in the world. And it's like, no, then you start to understand what's really going on, you know what I mean? And it's like no one knows your name because you're getting 36 at a World Cup. Like no one cares at all. But it's like you get like last year I won the overall for the national series. People start to know you, you know what I mean? You win all of the local races, people start to know you. People like, you know, I had a dude from Big Bear, he DM'd me and I saw, and it's like I just saw the profile pic that he was riding at Big Bear. I don't know where he's SoCal, but he was like, dude, I bought an Intense this year because of you. And it's like, okay, sick. I'm doing my job. Like, this is awesome. This is going well. I'm being valuable to my sponsors. My sponsors are helping me live out my dream. And I'm also working within it so I can still have money and like have my living, even though I live with my parents, but it's still like, you know, I'm 22 now or going to be 23 soon. So it's like, you got to pay bills and stuff. So it's like, yeah, I don't see, like, I think that it's going good right now and it's just going to try to keep growing that.
Yeah. I'd say I think it's very mature because I was at one point in that headspace of like, yeah, I can race World Cups. Why would I not go do that? What do you mean?
Right.
Like, and
Yeah.
it feels like that's where you're supposed to be. And then if it, you know, whatever it might at that point when you have to make that somewhat of a choice of like, am I going to keep like bleeding out trying to chase this thing, or am I better
Literally.
off maximizing like the value I have? And you know, I mean, that was when I started working within the industry, and I still raced, but I like my eggs were more dispersed across different baskets, and it
Mhm.
felt more fulfilling because I was like, I feel like I'm being more successful than trying to go racing, putting like, you know, money and all that aside. You put so much like heart and passion into racing,
Yeah.
and to like not qualify, it fucking hurts. You're like, oh, what? Like, I know I'm fast, you know, and then, you know, like you have a good qualifier, and then like you crash in a race run, and it's like the emotional strain can be super tough. So, dude, yeah, like
I think
I thought when when the Canyon stuff was coming to an end, I was like, dude, you have so much value for brands beyond your talent on a bike. And so it's been rad that you're with a US brand like Intense. You're doing US races, which are only growing. And I feel like you're at like perfect pinnacle right now to be doing exactly what you're doing. Like, I think there's so much value in it, and then opportunity for you. Like,
Mhm.
it's been really rad to watch. So
Thanks,
that's sick.
Jason.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, and I think it helps. Like Dak said, my pace is good right now, so that helps
Mhm.
too. That I can I'm still getting results as well as doing my program and stuff.
Yeah. Dude, I feel like I think you're looking faster this year than you did like the year before
sure.
then, you know, like
Yeah. And I think the bike had a lot to do with, like, Dak knows.
yeah, I was gonna say
Hey, how good's that bike you're on?
yeah.
It's so freaking good, dude.
How'd it
It's
feel
so
to
good.
design a bike for somebody that then goes out and beats you on it?
Can I get 10% on that bonus, boy?
Well, where were we at?
Can I get a tip?
Yeah,
That
dude,
bike
a little
was good.
commission.
Your boy,
No, I
your
think-
boy
I-
was on the tools. Come on.
I think it was at Tennessee that you saw me and you're like, that bike's good, huh? It's like, yeah, dude, it's really good, man. It's really good. And Fabian told me that too at Tennessee, because I got 5th, I think,
Yeah, I think you
in the
got
wet. Yeah. And Fabian was like, what happened? You just needed a better bike? And I was like, pretty good. It's pretty damn good, dude. I love it, man. And it's like, I got my setup good too. I think as you grow as a rider, you get like your setup pretty dialed and you start to know what you like and stuff. And what you want.
John Hall didn't help out with that at all, did he?
Yo, he did. What do you mean?
No, he didn't. John Hall had no ideas of what might work on that bike. I'll be damned. Boy.
He told me all about your guys' like little one-time dampers and
Expedition.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. La 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 la.
one run damper.
Nah,
Sometimes.
bah, bah.
Yeah.
Ah, bah, bah. That's what I say to my dog when it's about to jump on the couch.
Yes.
Ah, bah, 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 bah.
No, and he just
But
said,
no.
like, especially with the blind testing that he said you guys did, that it was you guys always liked like lower spring rate and a crap ton of oil damping. You know what I mean? And so like I just run my stuff's closed and my stuff's pretty soft, and damn does that bike stay on the ground.
Mhm.
It's so good.
You were talking about that in Whistler when we rode together, Dante, and it got me thinking a lot more about that, especially for just how like unpredictable the ground is where we live, or like slippery and skatey.
Yeah.
Like, you want your bike just stuck to the ground as much as you can to know where it is. And Dak's been preaching that shit for like 2 or 3 years. I mean, that's why the bars are so freaking high, or one of the reasons why the bars are quite high. So
Everyone always tells me, how does he ride like that? Blah, blah, blah. But how come it doesn't look so like chopper?
mhm.
And I was like, because his fork's like at 50% dynamic sag. You know what I mean? Like he's halfway in his he only has 100 mils of travel.
Yeah.
But that 100 mil works really well.
yeah.
Trophy truck, baby.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
Mondegger's
it's like-
new XC bike out there.
3 foot of sag.
3 foot of sag. Yeah.
So it's like his bars
Dude, I
end up
tell ya.
being at the same place as ours. He's just like, it's just a little different.
That's why we never take the bike off the ground, you know? It starts to look like one of those trucks where it starts to extend. It's hard to get the thing unstuck, you know?
The wheels
No.
are just, the frames, the chassis is not moving. The wheels are just like this.
That's the goal,
You
isn't
know,
it? You know?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't get that last week, I'll tell you that, but kind of missed the setup boat last week. But yeah, we're trying to make them look. What's that place out there? They got all them. They do go test all those trucks out there where you live. Everybody takes their trucks out there.
Like Ocotillo?
Yeah,
Or Glamis
like
is
the
like the
desert.
desert,
Yeah.
No, Ocotillo, I think, is where they go, and like the high des, and they just like go hit the whoops and
Or Barstow.
get
or
all the
something.
trophies.
Yeah, close to Vegas.
Dude, Barstow, I think is it.
Like
I
the
think
mid
they're all about
400.
Barstow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we were doing this weekend.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I did get compliments that my bike looked really good at Lake Placid, and
Yeah.
that it's been looking good all year. And then Joe hopped on my bike, Joe Breeden, and he hops on it. And he goes, "That's a class setup, brother." I was like, "Thanks, dude. I worked hard on it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I didn't even change anything from US Open, believe it or not.
Wow.
No
I
way.
just closed some compression, but I mean,
Huh.
spring rate was pretty much the same. Maybe
Are
I
you-
think no rebound was the same too.
Are you air shock in the rear or coil?
No coil.
Crazy.
What about the front?
I went up a couple psi, but I actually feel like it was too stiff at the race day. Like I didn't use all of my
Dude.
travel.
It's really interesting. So here's what my thought was on that. Qualifying was 30-second gaps. So I feel like even though it was so dry, you still kind of get that that moisture that comes up a little bit in the main line, like
Mhm.
when
Is
there's
it
so
getting
many
dug out?
riders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the big gaps on race day, I think that it was much more slippery, like in the race
So
runs.
slippery,
And
dude.
And I had my bike so stiff for the bottom of the track trying to make speed, and then I just absolutely suffered up top. Like I should have been softer with the setup, I think, and then just didn't have the grip I needed on race day to get it done. And it's like the reality is I don't know how many, I was a lot of seconds back, but when I actually look at how my race run and the amount of time I gave away from sliding around, it's like, man, I should have just had my bike a lot softer. Just
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it in a few races or maybe even this year, but like this seems like a track that all the electronic lockouts would have been quite the advantage on.
No way with Luke. How many seconds Luca pulled back? No way.
An absurd amount.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he's like an incredible BMX racer as well, but yeah, that was pretty impressive. I would say, I mean, Luke won on Fox though. I mean, no electronic.
I mean,
anything,
Jackson was
which-
up there with, I don't think he has stuff on his shock. I don't think he does. I don't think he has live valve or Neo,
Dude.
whatever it's called now.
That's why this sport's actually like super duper fun too, though, is because it's like it seems like there's so much technology getting put in all the time. But then I look at my bike and I'm like, pretty much the same as most bikes have been for a while.
Mhm.
And then I'm like sneaked in front of Loic Q1. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it's like Loic's bike is
Yeah.
worth $100,000. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
It's an actual
And my
spaceship.
bike's worth 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, it's just crazy. And then like Luca made up a bunch of time. I got my super saggy setup and I got six in sector 5, both Q1 and finals day, with not taking a single pedal, just on my pumping and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
what's better? You know what I mean? Is it worth it's like it just ends up so much coming to the rider at the end of the day too, which is like super fun because it's like all that time in Momo, he's up by 2 seconds or whatever, gonna come out of the woods, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, dude, it is a gnarly sport and it's cutthroat, dude. There's
Yeah.
no mercy.
Yeah, this weekend was cooler than ever for how split sector times were by who won it. You know, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure Luke Myersmith wasn't even fastest. Yeah, it wasn't fastest at any single section.
Sector.
He was just consistent the whole way
Yeah,
down.
just overall.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, no, that's why racing's not easy.
Exactly.
That's why we talk about suspension so dang much and geometry and all this other crap.
No, it is. It's fun, man. It's a puzzle for everyone all the time, and everyone's always learning. And
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, speaking of puzzling, what did you guys think of Reese Wilson's shrouds on his bike? Do you think there's something there? I thought it was for aerodynamics at first.
Dude, okay, let me tell you something so funny, man. At the top of Q1, me and John are just, Dak, you know how I am at the start. I'm not very serious. I'm like very chit-chatty and like just having a good time. Even you and me before seeding at US Open, we were just like chit-chatting. But I was at the top with John, and then Reese rolls by, and then John looks at me and he goes, "Is he racing with those things?" I was like, "Yeah, dude." And then John goes, "I thought they were illegal." I was like, "I don't know, man. Like, no one's gonna tell Reese anything because, no one really cares that much. But it's like, it is interesting. I think it's super dangerous. that he had those on. Because it's like, imagine getting sucked into
Bro.
your rear wheel,
Yeah,
like in all seriousness, and you're like, arteries are right there. I don't know.
that's a good point, actually.
To be
Crazy.
fair, maybe it might keep as long as you don't split one side or the other with the boys. If you get sucked in there, it might help a little bit. You know, keep
Yeah.
you from going into the back of the seat tube.
Yeah, it's in between. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that.
I
I
tried
can't
to
speak
watch
on this matter.
some clips of him to see if he really is like pinching like the claim of why it's a benefit, like if you're kind of like weighting the bike. And I mean, in a weird roundabout way, it's kind of like what Joe's going with his bar end deals, like
Yeah.
just being able to like really precisely weight the bike and whatnot. But I think it's kind of BS saying it's similar to like a moto. Like a moto, your feet are in parallel and you have a massive object between your thighs, like the whole bike is between your thighs. So
And you're not getting ripped off of your bicycle. You are getting pulled off of your motorcycle, and that's where you do pinch.
Totally.
But it's like you're not like gonna like whiskey out of
Well,
your downhill bike.
Usually you want your bike to get out of the way when that sensation happens.
Yeah, exactly.
One I can speak on is the shape of the seat for downhill. Do we need a seat that looks like a traditional bike seat for downhill racing? Like the way the shape of the seat is, like you're often weighting the seat like in a different spot going through the corner, right? And I think that's the main reason he uses those is like it's easy to get behind the seat and then have nothing to push against.
Yeah.
Or your lean angle changes. Have you ever had it when you go into a corner and it just so happens whatever the grade of the terrain is, the widest part of your seat hits your leg, and then you almost feel like you can't lean over because you can't lean the bike any
you get
farther.
stuck. Yeah.
Yeah. So why do we run a traditional bike seat? Is it just an interesting one for me that I was thinking about lately. Now I'm not going to go make any prototypes, but
you're not going to fab something up.
No.
What?
I
was thinking. I was like, what are you thinking then? Like a little skinny, like
yeah.
Is it offset towards
like a
one side
cylinder
to compensate for your front foot being further ahead?
I don't think so. I just think like more of like a cylinder type seat because we don't sit on it and pedal. Like more of like the seat would be almost like a Saran seat or something. I don't know, like kind of like the same, and it would look funny and it would be goofy. But if you look like, it is interesting. If we are actually looking at all out performance, like, wouldn't that be?
I think I will say from testing bikes and riding a lot of bikes, there is a difference on where a saddle falls between your legs from bike to bike. I don't really have like an answer to why or what's ideal necessarily. But, in theory for me, I'm like, oh, the lower your saddle, the more it's out of the way. But sometimes that'll fall right at your knees where your legs are kind of the widest with knee pads. And like Dak's talking about, every like fifth turn, you'll be like, oh, I can't really get the bike out of the way because it's like hitting my leg. Yeah, that is an interesting one. And like some saddles for sure, for whatever reason, like, I mean, I will, whenever I test downhill bikes, especially, I will fuck with the saddle quite a bit because I can't stand it when it's hitting my legs and like being in the way. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like just going to really, really short cranks where your offset is really minimal would maybe be an easier, more beneficial way. I mean, Dak, can you say what length cranks you're running right now?
165.
Okay, because you guys are back on SRAM, right?
Yeah, we're on SRAM.
What's the shortest you've raced with?
We don't have an option. The shortest I've raced with was 155.
Okay.
And I know there's no 150s or 145s. I think there's a 135 Crank Brothers or 135. What is that company?
We rode some pretty short cranks from, I think it's like, it might be pronounced differently, but it's like Samox. Like,
no, that's not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking about
carbon.
It's an American bike company, two brothers, Canfield Brothers. Canfield Brothers made 135s. And so, but the lowest I went through is 155s, and they were sick.
Yeah, they're pretty good for descending.
Yeah.
I rode Jason's bike that had 145s, I think.
Oh yeah.
Remember your trail bike had one?
Yeah.
He was pedaling with flat pedals and 145 cranks.
Oh my
He
god,
was like-
hamster wheel.
Yeah, dude, he was like, I'm burning.
Don't
I
you have an
was.
e-bike?
Yeah,
What
right.
e-bikes are for?
Oh my god. I know SRAM makes, I swear they make like 160. They definitely make 160. They might make a 155. I don't know. I have shorter cranks on Lauren's bike because she's not super tall. And yeah, anyways, they definitely go shorter. But I think that would be a less ridiculous looking way to maybe achieve what Reese is going for.
Well, that dude, it is funny. Well, all love to Reese, dude. He's a cool dude. I like Reese, but
Yeah.
It was funny when I saw his bike sitting there, and we were at the top, and he was looking at the first section, so his bike was just up there by itself, and I was looking at it, and I was like, dude, between the vertical stem, the little bar ends, his fairings, and then it's like a gearbox bike. I was like, it's so crazy how like how just different it is from a normal bicycle.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
normal downhill bicycle that you could purchase.
Doesn't he have an upside down Dorado on the front?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Everything's just going against like modern technology technically, but it's
Yeah.
sick. Like he's being innovative, and it's cool to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you guys tried the bar end things that are getting all popular that Joe made? Really want to try them.
Yeah,
Are they
I
good?
rode them. It's kind of weird to me. Like I rode I rode Joe's bike. We did a bike swap, and it was like kind of weird. But his brakes are backwards, so I couldn't ride with my fingers on the brakes.
Oh yeah.
I only had like my rear finger on the brake, and then it was like kind of weird. But yeah, they're interesting. That's for sure. Like, and actually, I didn't really notice a big difference in the upside down fork. I mean,
I think their stuff is actually quite good.
I don't know. I was on a jump trail. It's just for fun. For fun.
Yeah.
Let me ride your bike for 5 corners.
No, Joe loves riding other people's bikes, huh?
Oh yeah, me. I mean, I don't, but I do. Publicly, I don't.
Yeah, I don't wink. No, yeah,
it's
Joe's
just-
like,
it's
I want
just
to ride your
kinda
bike. I
fun.
want to ride your bike, and it's like, really? I don't ever ride other people's bikes.
No, I like it. I like it. It's kind of fun. Just
I would
kinda-
love to ride
because
yours.
You should ride it sometime.
Yeah, I should.
The
This winter,
Chariot.
I'm down. Yeah, the Chariot.
I did half a lap on it at in Whistler, but I was on flats on your clip pedals. But at the time, I was riding that Frameworks, and it didn't feel that much different geo wise. So, and I kind of ran that Frameworks in a similar way, like a little bit lower air, more damping, but it didn't feel crazy. Like visually, your bars look terrible. I think, like standing behind them.
No, they do not.
Hey, it's all personal preference.
No, come on.
Personal
Out of
preference.
anyone.
You got some freaking beach cruiser looking, like it feels like a beach cruiser and you're standing behind it. But your bike is tall and long, so you stand behind the front end quite a bit, which makes it very stable.
When I sat on your bike, I just thought, this bike makes me feel like I want to ride in the body position the way Dak looks. Like
Yeah.
it just makes sense. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it
Definitely.
makes me feel like I'm gonna be like kind of upright, pretty relaxed, and I'm just gonna be pushing with my feet on most of the
Mhm.
track. And
Definitely.
it's like that's what it looks like how you ride, Dak.
Maybe that's why I'm not very good when it's slippery.
You run your fork max out slit up in the crowns, right? If not almost past the limit.
Yeah, but my bottom. Yeah. But my bottom bracket's super low, and also I don't have to put a lot of weight on the front, so like I have to like get the grip to the front somehow.
No, I mean it. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to
Wait,
mention.
they're like
It
slid
makes sense.
in?
Yeah, like 'cause
Quite a
you're-
lot.
Like
Everybody's
do you
like,
bottom
"Oh,
out
you're-"
almost on the crown? Or
I'm
it's
like,
close to.
yeah.
Like
Like
your casted crown is probably like 210.
no, more like I think I have enough room so it just the O-ring doesn't compress into the crown.
Like 203.
201.
Yeah.
I think they're at like 201. Yeah, they're low. But my whole bike is low. The bottom bracket's low. The whole thing's low.
Long and squatted.
Yeah, but that's just I mean, I probably would. I don't know. I just kind of like with the whole like way the bike squats, and then like how it is under braking. I just like the really low bottom bracket on my bike.
Mhm.
Because I
That's
wouldn't
what-
say like some bikes like suck you down under braking, some bikes push. Ours is
Yeah.
pretty neutral, but I think naturally any bike when you brake the fork dives. So I like the low bottom bracket.
You want to feel a
Yeah.
little bit more squatted.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think my bike's unbalanced. Like it's a little more squatted in the rear, but I like that because it's just like
Yeah.
anytime you brake, it's just like
Yeah.
Things in
I
it.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
We got to do a Maxis Make or Break section. They're one of our sponsors. We've kind of talked about the track quite a bit, but if you guys had to pick, maybe say one sector that decided this weekend, which one might that be?
Oh. That's I
The
don't know.
first one? The second one? I don't know. This seemed like pretty decisive for how people's weekends ended up.
To me, I think the most critical section was the long rut to the bottom of the rocks where people everyone would film from the tall rock, Dante. Like let's call it like it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
a supercross section. So it was like for me that didn't make or break my weekend, but I think we seen like a lot of time made or lost kind of
For
in the
sure.
second split. Like you
Probably
would
mostly
go
lost, right?
mostly
minute.
lost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, I think I mean, obviously this is like this whole segment is supposed to be a thought-provoking thing, but I sat my bike up for the bottom of the track so much and was just going to manage it through the top. And then I think I kind of missed the boat of like prioritizing splits, the bottom splits, and not really having the bike that had enough grip in the second split. And I, because of that, made a mistake that lost me a lot of time.
That seems fair.
But yeah, I would agree. I think it's the second split was like everything. Like it was just kind of like that's where people were messing up as well. So it's like even if they were like for me that I wasn't riding it as fast, just the fact that I could get it like decently clean all the time. And then I knew I wasn't gonna lose a lot of time in the lower splits. So it's just like just survive the
Mhm.
gnarly 1 minute of like the wood section because other people will not because it's that gnarly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like race day, it felt really hard to get a clean run in.
Yeah.
What tire
fair.
did you run this week? Were you on Argotol or Cryptitol?
Yeah, I was on Argotol front, Cryptitol rear.
Yeah, that's interesting. I went with the High Roller 3, which I think is
Front and rear.
High Roller 3 front, DHR 2.4 rear. But I
Yeah.
think that like I would have liked maybe a little more side knob bite. Because like the High Roller 3 was so good in the berms at the bottom, but I felt like almost I needed a little more side knob bite in the top of the track just because it was so dusty.
But what would you have wanted? An Aussie?
Yeah. You
No, also because the High Roller 3 that I mean, I almost would have wanted to like put on like
A Cryptitol front? No, kidding.
no,
Sorry.
no. But like
Do you think you wanted like a wider high roller?
like a 2.5?
like a 2.5 High Roller?
Because I feel like a
Yeah.
high roller side knob is pretty mean, but they're a touch narrower or like lower volume, maybe looking at least than an ass guy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I just wish I had a little more side knob bite at the top, like almost running a mud tire.
funny enough, I'm actually doing a comparison right now between a high roller 3 and an Argotol because I have been in love with that high roller 3. And I kind of realized that we've covered the Cryptitol quite a bit, and that's like a pretty good ride everywhere tire from Conti. But I was like, dude, their Argotol looks a hell of a lot like this high roller 3. And I've been kind of selling the high roller 3 as like not just a mixed conditions tire. I think it can do pretty well across the board. So
I agree.
funny
I think it
enough,
was
doing
the
a
High
little
Roller 3
comparison.
was a really good mix for the whole track and the track as a whole. But
Mhm.
but I think yeah, I wish maybe just like almost had wearing like a mud tire. Maybe like a wet scream with it cut in the middle might have been good just to have a little more bite up at the top of the track. I think maybe Amari was on a Dirty Dan, and
Interesting.
yeah, I think those guys ran Dirty Dans.
Hmm.
You know, just in the front.
Yeah. Yeah, that's ironically enough, his rear end stepped out when he went down in his race run.
Yeah, Yeah, the same. Like I had that high roller 3 in the front, and I say, you know what I do say is I said I would have really liked to have more side knob, but the biggest issue in my race run was losing the rear. Like I ran a DHR in the rear, and I just felt like it was like real skaty. Like I think I would have been a lot better off with a high roller, taking the rolling disadvantage and putting a high roller in the rear.
Yeah, that
High roller
that's
3.
it's a tough track to figure out for tires for sure, because the bottom bit you want to carry so much speed, but that top bit
Yeah.
is like basically riding at the beach. It looked like
Yeah.
you're like, what we'll dig through and find something to hold on to. It's good old
No.
Fontana. Fontana out there.
Dude, Fontana is a way harder pack than that.
That's true. Yeah.
Lake Placid, it was very similar to Big Bear, like in all
Yeah.
honesty.
Yeah.
Just like totally blown out, and the ground moves on the ground. It's like slides on itself.
Groundception.
I wasn't surprised that Pinky did so well there
Yeah.
for that reason.
Yeah.
I was actually quite impressed with Ronan, how well Ronan did, because that would be a much different condition for him as far as our team goes.
Yeah.
Totally. I just have a note here that Marin went fasty in the speed trap deck. So I just wanted to point that out.
No way.
Yep, she went 39.6 miles per hour. You went 38.2.
Speed
Miles
trap
per
was
hour?
right before the bottom, wasn't it?
I don't
It
know.
was, it was right after the Red Bull arc, after like that double in the motorway.
Dante was
Oh,
freaking
don't say
cooking in the
that.
I
speed
was-
trap.
Bro,
Third in qualifying and fifth in finals.
Did you
my
hit the
tuck-
corner good?
Yeah. Both times. my
Every
tuck,
time.
my tuck is pristine too, dude. I've worked hard on the tuck. I don't pedal. Like I never pedal, dude.
So
I just
I
tuck
actually
and pump.
wanted to get your guys' take on this. So like the lower bit where you need to like carry as much speed as possible, and maybe it's not just sections where you're tucking, but like what are some tips to carrying speed?
Huh.
It might be obvious,
Oh,
but like
wow.
what? Like seriously though, because I feel like it's such a big thing sometimes people don't think about. Like I feel like the natural way to approach this past weekend, if you're like an amateur racer, is oh my god, this first minute of track is so tech, it's gnarly, it's always changing, and all you do is focus on that, and then you forget about the whole bottom bit where there's like most of the time to be gained or lost, it seems. And I saw some people tucking where I'm like, you're just making your arms wider, and like maybe that even just has more drag, you know? Like I don't know. I was curious what you guys thought, because well, mostly Dante, you actually went fast on the speed trap.
I think you could debate. I went fast on the.
I'm
bonus
just
split.
kidding.
Thank
I'm
you.
just kidding.
Thank you.
I don't know. I am obsessed with finding backsides. So it's like I find every little pump I can get. So it's like
Mhm.
even on race day, that like right-hander before the motorway, before the speed trap, it was
Mhm.
like there was a blown out rut at the top of it. So everyone had to go inside. And so it's like it's all about like perfect braking, right? I came in, set up, brake super hard, then cut in. Then I got a pump at the end of the berm, which then there was like a
Mhm.
little double out. And then it's just like, I got like 4 or 5 pumps before I even got to the double. Then I kind of like threw my weight through the big double. So then I could push on the landing of the big double. So it's like, it's literally just about like every downside is I'm pushing my momentum into it to try to get some out of it. You know what I mean? It's not, you're never just riding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The biggest issue I see in like for the amateur racing when it comes to carrying speed is they panic pedal really bad. So they try to pedal and they're pedaling in the wrong gear, and then they're squiggling around skidding and missing pumps and running into slopes that they would then slow them down,
Mm-hmm.
or they don't brake early enough and they don't pump good enough. For me personally,
Braking's
so
a
like
huge thing.
when I'm coming at the bottom down the bottom, it was a hard pedal off the wood, like at the bottom of the track, the last split. You'd go down that long straightaway, jump, get the pump. I'd be a hard pedal on the wood, and then pump the road, pump the back, pump the berm,
Yep.
and then push my way through the double to pump the
Mhm.
landing, to pump the berm. And you're almost like it's like you're never really just rolling on the flat. and then you're hopping anything that you could run into and slow you down. Because at the end of the day, like if you're hopping, if your wheels aren't touching the ground, you're not slowing down. Like there's no friction.
It's weird. That's interesting. Like you said, Dak, like even though it looks like it might be flat from an outside perspective, it's a full rhythm for all of us. Like we are just like almost like a rhythm section. Even there's like the long right hander before the quad, before like the on off or the triple that like Jackson did. It's like even the corner, you don't even just ride the corner. It's like you pump into it, then you pump the apex, and then you pump out of the berm. You know what I mean? It's like you don't just go raw. It's like there's like a rhythm the whole time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And also making sure you don't turn too tight. Like if you think about it, like the harder you turn, you're actually like you're slowing down when you turn hard. So like even though you could go inside of that corner and it was a good inside line, everybody was going outside so that they made the most gentle, long flowing corner possible.
Yeah.
Because it was a long run to the finish line. And it's the same thing you saw, like a lot of dudes lose speed on the shark fin because they almost slid in and then went up the shark fin. Where like if you just set up 6 inches to a foot farther right, you could not break traction, not slide, and then have a lower arc off the shark fin.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think lost a lot of time on the shark fin.
Go to the pump track this winter if you're an up and coming racer.
And the same, like find a local trail that's like almost like a green flow trail or a very simple, like a blue natural, and just don't pedal and try to figure out how you can get going faster, pumping backsides of little rocks, opening your corners up, braking early. And the best way to do that is to find an easy trail that takes fear out of the mix, because if you can remove fear, you can actually focus on the riding at a lower velocity than you would if you were riding maximally on something really hard.
Yeah, and a lower angle trail has less speed to it, so you have to generate it. Okay, going down my list a little bit more here. I have some race notes, just touching on it, but it was pretty rad to see Valley finally win this year, but then also win the overall with all the drama with YT kind of going under and stuff. I thought that was just like savage to do, to come out and finally win, but then also take that overall.
So wait,
what?
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
That Valley said something about like having a bad year or something, and someone goes, "You won world champs, you won the overall, and then you won Lake Placid. Pretty good for a bad year." Pretty good for a bad year.
I know. And Valley's what, like 23, 24? I mean, geez,
she's a year older than me.
That's crazy. Like, yeah, I've definitely. It's like the any athlete who wins a lot, all you can kind of do at a certain point is lose. And so this year where she's not won, she's been in the mix, but she hasn't won. So everyone's like, what's happening to Valley? And then, yeah, like we get to with one race to go. She's like, I'm done for the year. I did everything, you know? It's like, oh yeah, she's been there this whole time.
The whole time.
And it's hard to think that you're always just going to get better. And even like on a race to race basis, like I just want to do better every week. And the reality is like that's actually really hard to do. And from year to year, like I want to like get better every year. And it's like, is it really going to happen? Like last year I made a huge jump in terms of my speed. This year I got hurt and I'm building back to try to be where I was last year. But it's so hard to understand that it's just not going to be linear. Like it's just not possible. Like the stock market just doesn't go up and up and up and up. It just doesn't work like that.
She has some crashes sometimes.
Every once in a while she crashes, goes down, you know, like even the last 2 weeks, like 15 and 17, I was like, damn man, like
Hey, but you won US Open. That's a great win for you, Dak. That one was sick.
Yeah, pretty sick. So
but I know, the world stage is always different.
It's dang, man. It's hard.
Was this your third US Open win?
3 times. Me and Sam Hill, 3-time out here.
There you go.
Dude, that's pretty fucking cool.
That's sick.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool. Yeah.
What did you buy in years past with the extra cash you had, and what's on your list, if anything, that you're like, I got some extra money now. I've been needing to get this thing.
I bought the last time I won it, I bought a KTM 300. The year before, I made $7,500, and I bought the shower glass for my home, which was like $5,000. I think I kind of splurged on my shower in my house, which was pretty cool. The year before, I put a roof on my house. Thank you, Clay. When I won the race.
I love
And
that.
then the first year, I was sitting in the starting gate, like going, I don't know how I'm going to pay for something, and I paid for that thing. I don't remember what it was. I think it was taxes or something, like
Yeah.
life, I've like won it 2 times and then made a little bit of money. I got second to 1 year. This year, I am happy to say that it will be paying off all my medical bills from my hip over the winter.
Mm.
Yeah, which is
Wow.
nice. It puts a little bit of money savings back in a savings account for me, and takes away a little stress going into the winter. I'm
Hell yeah.
fortunate enough to be at a point in time in my career where as the podcast has went on, I've always been saying I'm broke, but doing a little better like now financially, like with the success that I've had. So but at the end of the day, like I really burnt through some money to try to come back and get some good results this year and show that just not lose an entire year and come back to be competitive. And I think that was a success. So able to toss a little money back in my have an emergency fund again. And
Nice.
yeah, so that's a really cool thing. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to do pretty well, but racing is also astronomically expensive.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that's sweet.
No, I think we could all say that we are always very happy to see Dak do very well. I think
Hell yeah.
mostly everyone is like stoked.
Mhm.
Thanks, man.
We're like, because we know, dude, like you're just like real too. You got your house, you got to work on stuff. You're like a regular working American, but it just happens to be bikes. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's the same, Dante. Like I could say, like, I'm sure your family helps you race a bit, and it's probably nice to pay for racing on your own and have racing pay for itself, and then also pay for some of your bills on racing. But the reality is, like, the want to do well, sometimes I let get the best of me, and I'll just spend it to try to do well. And the more you spend does not guarantee success. It helps. Either it's putting more, it's the odds are more in your favor, but there is no limit to what you can spend on racing and hiring psychologists, doctors, like staff, going on training trips. Like, so it's it actually is limitless to what you can spend trying. That's racing, right? How to make $1 million racing is to start with 2.
2 of somebody else's money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all need that life sponsor, Where that person at? You want to support what I'm trying to do over here?
Yeah, y'all want to help? Y'all want to help?
You want to help?
Yeah. But it's cool. I mean, like, I'm 33 now. I'm my own person. At the same time, I've been able to buy my home from racing my bike. I've bought a vehicle from racing my bike, and I've sustained living and done, like, as if, like, a lot of people just race and then it's like, okay, I need to like be done now and go get a real job and make money and start my life. It's like I've been able to start my life while racing, paying from racing, which has been incredible. I know, like, a lot of the boys, the younger boys, when I hear from the guys, like the younger kids, it's if they want to buy a house, when they're Dante's age, they're trying to live on their own and trying to save up money to buy a house. So it's cool to see, like, some of my friends be able to do that from racing.
Dude, for sure. Yeah. And we've all gotten to kind of watch you go through it all. So that's been cool. Relatable, You're like still the underdog vibe a little bit, like everyone's seen you through those underdog years. Not that you've proven that you aren't when it comes to racing, but I think that's why so many people are always so down to root for you. This year, actually, you've kind of gone a little bit back to that with your recovery from your injury. Like, I feel like you winning the US Open, like, was a bit of a shock a little bit, like it was not that many months before where you were like, I can't believe I'm here I'm here at Leo Gang trying to walk the track, and then like wasn't that long after that you're like, oh, I made it into finals, and then it's been a quick build. So
I would say it's been, for me personally, like I personally, like, am really proud of we haven't talked like the last couple weeks, right? So I'm really
Yeah, what's up with
proud
that?
of. Dude, honestly, I've been busy.
I know.
Honestly, like I flew from Switzerland, was home for a half day, drove to the U.S. Open 2 days, missed track walk to be there, and was able to race. I wasn't even going to go to the U.S. Open. Clay called me up like, "Yo, you're not on the reg list." And I said, "That's because I ain't coming." And he's like, yeah, I think you are. I think you are. And Clay like helped me out with like, he entered me late and stuff, and he might have encouraged me to come up there a little bit, and so I wasn't going to go, and that was like the biggest success of my season, you could say. And it was like the last few rounds, like it's been really hard because as proud of my successes as I am, like coming back from injury and being realistic with like my goal was to like in my head, it was like, okay, qualify, get a top 30, get a top 20, get a top 15, fight for a top 10. And it's like Andorra went and got ninth. And it's like, it's been so it's been so like dependent on, I was laughing at Dante, so dependent on the conditions of the weekend, whether I've been able to compete the top guys or not. Like there's definitely some conditions I'm better at, and then some conditions that I favor with my strength at the moment. So I wish that it just got better and better and better, and I got a top 10. And the last few weeks have kind of been a bummer for me, like even though they shouldn't be. And I think that's just like due to like circumstance, right? I want to do well, and of course, like I want to continue to raise World Cups in the future and continue to have support, and want everybody to continue to support me. And it's like the reality is it's pretty cutthroat. So trying to continue to show that I'm capable to come back to the results that I did early last season, because it's really easy to be like, oh well, yeah, he's getting older, he's hurt, and maybe he might not come back to be a race winner. And it's like I think that US Open showed, and getting ninth at the World Championship showed, which was one position from my best ever position at the Worlds.
Nice.
Even debated whatever you want to call happened the year before that. It is easy to be like, there's a lot of young kids coming up, and I just wanted to come back and show that I'm going to come back to be healthy, and I'm going to come back to try to win. And 17th doesn't really scream that, or 15th. And it's like the last couple of weeks have been a little hard, but I think I'm probably harder on myself than most people are on me. So it's been cool to see like all the positivity around my recovery, and especially from the people that understand. Like I was with Dr. Dave, who owns the Rock Creek Bike Park and is good friends with Nico and even Nico. But I had that meeting with Dave last week, and he was like, dude, this has been pretty, and he's a doctor, he gets it. And it's like, dude, this has been pretty mental. Like what you were able to do this season, you must be really happy with. And that's life, I of course I want to win, and I want to do better every weekend, but I got to race this season. I got to still do some incredible things. And yeah, winning the US Open was like honestly funny. It was like I was sitting there, and I was like, okay, like I came down. Worst case, I'm like, because I think I qualified 5th or 6th, and I came down in the 1st, and I was like, okay, worst case, I'm on the podium. Like that's incredible. Like so sick. Got on the box. Like huge success. And then Richie came down, and I didn't really realize that Lockie wasn't going to start because he hurt his shoulder at the moment, even though I knew. So I was like, Richie was 0.6 off, and I was like, oh shit, I just got in front of Richie. Like he would have been really strong on the pedals. Like, so I was super grateful for that. And then I didn't really realize Lockie didn't start. And then I beat, I think it was maybe Asa, or I don't remember who was last man down. And I was like, no. Yeah, or I beat someone, Troy, and I was like, no way, like top 3, that's incredible. And I was like, wait, no, 2nd. And then by the time I figured that, Asa was back at the first split, 2.5 seconds or something. And I was like, surely, like he made a mistake, he'll make it up. And then he was still back. And then like they announced like he was back coming out of the woods, and I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way. like, no way. Like, this isn't possible. And he come across the finish line, it flashed red, and I lost it. Like, fully lost it. Dude, I
Full
was like,
waterworks.
yeah, dude, I started bawling. I started crying. I was like, makes me tear up now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, after like the winter, I was like, because it's like, yeah, I've had some successes that have made me really happy, but it was just like, this is actually not, this isn't real life. Like, this
Uh-huh.
didn't really just happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was pretty special. I like couldn't even believe it afterwards. I was just like, yeah, because I didn't think the run was that good. That good, like with the mistake I made, I figured somebody would have put a perfect run down, and I guess my first split was just really, really good, which is crazy because I'm not a first split guy. So to go from
Yeah.
that to last week was a little bit of like a bummer, but at the same time, like it's not linear, and you're going to continue to. It's going to go down and come up. Racing is really hard, and these guys are so good that take the wins when you can get them because they're not guaranteed and they don't come often. So to win the 3-time winner of the US Open is
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. Dak was going to cut out at some point.
Does he always cut out?
I mean, he's definitely made a habit of it over the years. He doesn't do it on purpose.
His little face that it's stuck on. No, dude, everyone was so stoked to see Dak win. It was so sick. Like,
Yeah.
I think because also no one was expecting it.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like everyone was down there and everyone just like after the race, everyone's just looking at each other like, dude, Dak won. And it's like, oh, that's so sick. Like, so stoked for Dak.
Totally. Yeah, it's cool when everybody's like happy for that person. You know, like everybody gets it. And it kind of felt the same way with Luke winning last weekend. You know, like everybody, no matter how they did, most people mentioned like, oh, but I'm so stoked for him to have like taken his first win. And it's always just cool when you see reactions from people. No, Dak's gone. He'll be back. It's always cool when you see a reaction from a racer that kind of matches how you expect them to feel, you know, like being emotional and like you can tell how much is behind something like that. So I think it was Giants' first win since like 97 or something.
Oh crap.
Isn't that insane? I know. They're as big as like
almost
Trek and
30
Specialized.
years.
I know. That's
Jesus.
crazy.
Yeah, their last one was before I was born.
That's insane.
Oh, dude, that's gnarly what happened to Giant, though, huh?
I did hear about some of that.
I don't know if we should not talk about that.
I haven't read into it too much. So, yeah, maybe I'll just.
We're not informed, so we can't speak on the matter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, it's crazy. Whatever it is, it's crazy, I feel like.
I would agree. Well, the last thing I was going to touch on before we got out of here was just the Jackson Loic battle going into the last round. But you got who's your pick between those two for the overall? Put you on the spot.
The only crazy part would be is like not if Jack gets the overall, but is if he wins an MSA.
True.
In Canada, like it's gonna be like unreal.
Because
it's kind of like when Finn won, right? And Jackson won an MSA? I think he has.
I feel like he did last year. I thought.
No, Troy won last year.
Oh, you're right. I was like, something memorable happened last year.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at remembering that. I'm sure he did as a junior. I'm trying to look.
MSA always has such a good race.
Yeah, he won in 23, and then 24 he was out last year. That's right. So. And
then Finn won 22. Yeah. But I think it's gonna be Loic. I think Loic's just a freaking professional and just seasoned veteran.
He always delivers.
He eats up the pressure for breakfast. Like he loves it. he wants it, you know? It's when he performs. And I think Jackson's still finding his place in the circuit. Obviously, everyone would be like, what? He won 4 times in a row. And it's like, well, yeah, but doesn't mean that you're necessarily like totally experienced to be able to handle that either. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like there's certain dudes who win and it's like, you were not ready to win. You know what I mean? And like, it didn't necessarily help you in your like career or your progress as a rider. You know what I mean? It wasn't necessarily beneficial. I feel like for someone like Dakotah,
Mhm.
I think he is very in need of a win, and
Mhm.
he's very deserving of a win. And I think a win would only like just boost him so far to
Totally.
where then he'd be like, I really genuinely think that Dak would be like podium every weekend after a win.
Mhm.
Kind of
Yeah.
like how Kiefer did it, where he got a podium and then all of a sudden he just can't stop
Yeah.
because you're just like, yeah, I belong there. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, I think I was talking to Loic and he's just like, yeah, I got it. And it's like, sick, dude. Sick. You're so badass.
I know. You've
He's
been there
such a
so many
boss.
times before. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it would take more for him, obviously, to not take it, which is how the points are right now. But I've been kind of thinking the same thing. I think Jackson is an incredible racer. I mean, his talent obviously is like kind of unmatched, but his racecraft is also really nuts. His ability to just kind of like show up and do well. And
Always.
he's kind of faltered a little bit like the last few rounds, not in Lake Placid. He actually, I think, really capitalized there. But I think that it would take a lot for Loic to not do well enough to just take the overall, to be in the mix. It would have to be like a mechanical or something.
Right, or a huge crash or something. But like,
yeah,
if he has anything to say about it,
yes,
he's gonna get it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But regardless, it'll be cool. And I mean, I think I looked at points. I think all the what is it, 6th to 14th place in elite men is pretty tight. There's like definitely a lot of potential for people to move around. And then in elite women, like Gracie's probably gonna end up second, Tony's gonna end up third. They're gonna like stay where they are. And then there's like a few battles here and there between people. And then even like in the junior class, because they have less points up for grabs, I think it'll kind of probably sit mostly where it is for the most part. But yeah, it'll still be good. So why aren't you at MSA? I just assumed you would have been going.
So kind of like a variety of reasons. I feel like nothing like no big reason. Just kind of like, well, it wasn't under the budget for Intense USA, and so it's just kind of like I didn't really feel like spending the money. Kind of what we talked about. It's a lot of stress and like just kind of risk as well. And people might say that I don't love it anymore, even though I do, but it's just like I don't really feel like the need to risk that or to go put my body through that again. Yeah. If it's not something I want to do next year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so if it's not even the route that I'm going for, like, why even? You know what I mean?
Yeah, what's to be gained? There's probably more to be
gained. It was more like the risk versus reward. Hey!
Yeah. Oh, he's back.
Dude, I had my phone on the wireless charger on my battery back, and the wireless charger was sitting on the bed, and it just overheated and shut my Wi-Fi off. I was like, sick. I have nothing, dude. These things could never go as planned.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. When you disappear, I'm like, well, it has to happen at least once.
Yeah, it would Dak.
something died. Dude, it never happens when I'm at home in my office, but when I'm laying in a bed, dude, I literally have like, because there's no outlet, so I have an extension cord running the charger. Like it's a boost program.
Are you guys in the houses close to the venue? Like,
yeah,
on the golf course side?
Yep. Yeah.
Those are all
there's
the
some
same.
new ones now, so yeah. But it's like there's no outlet next to the bed. There's only an outlet on the other side of the room. So it's like,
But yeah, Jason, and then just like adding on to why I'm not at MSA, I like committed to helping Steven out, Walton, with the Christmas lights.
Okay.
And it's just like, yeah, we're getting to work tomorrow.
Okay.
It's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like I feel like I'm in a different point in my life now where it's like, yeah, the grind isn't just chasing World Cups, and I'm like totally cool with that. And it was sick that Lake Placid was close to Vermont because it was just made it easy. My parents and I split the Airbnb, and yeah, it was just an easy trip for me. And then I did good, which is like amazing to top it off. But I just didn't really feel like the need to get to MSA.
Sick.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Now you got like a bunch of Christmas lights with old Swalty. That's amazing.
lot of anxiety that comes with the World Cups and like
Yeah.
finding a team every year and doing well at every race, or else you're not going to get hired for the next year. And it's like maybe I make the whole thing up in my head, but reality, I don't. It's really difficult, like, to deal with that pressure all the time. Like, oh, I better train super hard because if I don't do well at the races, sayonara, you're
Yeah.
back to. But at the same time, it's like seeing what you're doing and how content and happy you are. It's like there's something to be said for that too, and knowing like, yeah, if I don't race World Cups anymore, like it's all right. Like I'll find something that I really enjoy to go do and do something different.
Yeah, and it's like I had the best time at Lake Placid, and I was so happy to go back. And I think I'll do that every single year, where I'll do the North American ones. I think next year I'll like put in some money and plan a little better, and go to probably what is it, Whistler that it's supposed to be for the Canadian one, and then do Lake Placid again as well. And because it is so fun, dude. World Cups, it's the pinnacle of racing. How would you not want to be at the top with the top dogs? Like it feels so good knocking Loic out of 10th. You know what I mean? It feels really good sliding one spot in front of Dak. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, dude, that feels
good. Of course it feels good. But
No.
yeah, it's not like what's driving me nowadays, and I'm like stoked on it.
Yeah.
I'm like totally fine with it. So it's like, yeah, it's sick.
I love it. Yeah, that's rad.
And it was fun.
You have
Yeah.
the option.
Just coming in, one race off the couch, like Dak said, getting 16th, and then just dipping. Just going back home. Flew home the next morning.
That's tight. There's probably a lot of people that have obligations to go to Montanam that are like, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I told Luca, he was like, you going next weekend? I was like, no. And he goes, why not? And I was like, just don't really feel like it. And he was like, man, I wish I was you, brother. I was like, yeah, dude. I mean, it's always a job, right? Work is work. So when it's not my job, I don't feel bad not showing up.
I love that. That's a great perspective.
Yeah.
You're like, it's the holidays. There are shopping centers that need Christmas lights hung.
Yeah, dude.
We'll make a hell of a lot more money doing that than getting mid-back at the World Cup.
Yeah, dude. I'll make more money this one off season, or I'll make as much as a whole season being on a World Cup, trying to get top 20s.
Yeah. That is wild.
Let me tell you, they're like, oh, you get to ride your bike for a living. And I'm like, you go into that Mount St. Anne rock garden without the brakes pulled and tell me it's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me tell you, when you're going into that rock garden that fast, it's very much so a job.
For sure. No, it's like it's the sliding into the 10th place. It's the winning US Open for Dak. It's like those are the moments that we're living for. But it's definitely a job. Like, and it's these kids, these Groms need to know that too when they're like, oh, I want to be a pro racer. And it's like, all right, get ready for the hard work and a lot of heartbreak as well.
That's probably the hardest part, is the heartbreak, huh?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if it's not the sliding into 10th place, or if it's not the winning the US Open, or for you winning a US National, it's like, it is heartbreak. It actually hurts. Like it's like sad.
Hurts, yeah.
Like you leave on the weekend and even if you did good, but it wasn't as well as you thought you could do, it's like sad.
Dude, that was like last year with the semis and stuff, and I was on Pirelli and I wasn't riding that good last year. And it's just like, dude, I made one final, Dak. One final. The whole season is just like, you don't even want to wake up on race morning. Like it's like, dude, I don't even want to get out of bed. This is so lame sauce that everyone's going to go clock into their job today the way we should be, and I'm just sitting with nothing to do.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's hard going into qualify. You wake up now on qualifying day and it's like, easily I could be just not racing on Saturday.
My last day riding the track.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, you come down in Q1 and you're out and you're just like, damn it, like I have to go so fast now, because if I'm not in tomorrow, like that's hard to deal with. That's really difficult. Yeah,
and everyone's it's so tight now too, which is that's the craziest part, right? Like it's like if for some reason, Dak, you have a bad race and you don't qualify, let's just say you're like less than a second off of the cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're 1.5 off of a top 15 place, and you're just like,
yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like last year, I got the amount of times I got like 31st to 39th
Mhm.
was like 4 times, 3 or 4 times, and I was like, this is the most unfun thing ever.
Yeah, this is the worst. I
Yeah.
hate this. Yeah, I understand that feeling.
Yeah.
Like I definitely like coming into the season. It's like trying to be happy for doing shitty is just like I'm not. Yeah, I'm happy, but I'm really not. Like I want to be freaking winning this thing, or like trying to win this thing. I don't want to be freaking being stoked I qualified when in my brain I'm good enough to be in there. Or if you're like struggling with something with the bike or struggling with confidence or whatever, it's like you're just like, damn, dude, like I don't know what to do, but I need to do it.
And I think that's also what makes us like better than most. And then when it comes to like being racers and like the competition side is that we're never satisfied, right?
No.
Because you always know what you could do or what you should have done, and like this and that. And then Wim said that when he was interviewing me, he's like, "Yeah, dude, like the joys of being a racer." And it's like, yeah, I came down, I got 16. My parents were so ecstatic for me, and I was so pissed off when I came through my run, dude. Like I came over, I like on the camera, I was like, "Yeah, hands up," because I wanted to be like, "Damn it, dude!" Like, what am I doing out there, dude? What a kook!
Yeah.
What a kook! I feel like a kook. I just got 16th in the world, and I feel like a loser.
I
so
came
hard.
across the finish line and I was hitting the last jump, seeing 4 seconds back, and I was like, and I knew I had already dicked it. Like I knew it was
Right.
over.
Yeah.
But it's like you're just like, and then like the kids are stoked and they want to get a photo and an autograph with you, and all you
And
want
you're
to do
like-
is just like beat the helmet into the handlebars. You're just like, because you just like absolutely, and it's so hard to be so bummed and put a smile on and take photos, and you literally just want to like through the finish corral and right out the back door, bike in the truck and leaving your gear, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like you literally, it doesn't work like that. So you just like you gotta like put a smile on and like well, I left after Lake Placid. Like I was very fortunate to have so many people come over to the truck, and I think we saw like I sat there and signed things for like probably 2 hours after the race. But I was like, when I left, me and Frida walked out of there. I was probably like one of the last cars in the parking lot, and I was like, it feels so good to just go ahead and be bummed, you know, like, and it's like you leave on the and but that is like you said, the joys of being a racer, and it's like this is a good problem to have, but it's like you always want so much more that it's like so hard emotionally because it goes good 3 times a year and you want that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and you had that feeling of coming, like I came down in 12th with no chain on my bike, and I'm like, yo, like let's go. Like I'm gonna lay it down tomorrow, man. I'm gonna be in the top 10, like, and then you go and you try and you swing and you give it your best effort and it doesn't go your way, and you're just like, that's that, huh? That week, really, all weekend for that, for me to go do that.
Yeah. No, and I felt the same because it's like, dude, I just did it so good yesterday. What the hell?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, come on. No, it's
People
so
are probably listening to this like, you got 17th in the world, you know, but it's like it's not the position. It's the run. We live for doing this for when it goes right and when you put your best run down, and when you like to go back to what I don't know what you guys talked about while I was gone, but to go back to what Jason was saying, you go there and you have the feeling of what you did last year. Sometimes you did good, sometimes you didn't, and you still got that feeling of when you went through the finish line the year before of whether it went good or not, and you're like either like, yeah, this place is sick, I can do that again, or you're still pissed off from last year.
Yeah.
And then you walk the track and you look at where you've made mistakes or where you won the race. You're like, okay. And then you like go through the whole day of practice, the whole qualifying day. You ride practice in the morning, you sit for 3 hours and wait to race. And sometimes you just go up there and you pull the most bonehead move. And you're just like, all week, I just thought about this moment. And then I go right off the side of this rock and mess it all up. And you're just like, you come across the finish line and it's just all weekend is just rage. And you're just like,
Yeah,
that's why downhill racing is such a spectacle and a unique sport, that I think it's why a lot of people get invested in it to begin with.
Yeah.
It is that chase. There's always a chase. Loic Bruni is always chasing, and he's won a lot of World Cups and always does pretty well at them. Doesn't mean he's not feeling the same way, and it's relatable no matter kind of how good you are. If you've done some amount of racing, you understand a little bit of that.
yeah.
and there's always one, say there's 20 dudes you're competing against, and one of them always does it. And you're just,
Yeah.
how did that dude just do that? And
Yeah.
you're just like, and this is your competition, right? And like, and you see, but what I'm saying is it's not one dude or that I don't like the guy. It's just, there's always somebody that has an extraordinary day. And
Yeah.
that's downhill. And
Yeah.
you're sitting there watching somebody be stoked and you're bummed. And you don't think you're that guy when you went and did good, because you're so it's like a self-centered thing.
Mhm.
But it's like sometimes you're just watching and you're like dudes that you compete against, and then they go and do it and you don't, and you're just like, yeah. It's just like, it's like the match, that lights the thing on fire. And not that you don't like the guy at all. It's not, I'm not
No,
saying that.
yeah,
It's
it's not
just you're
that.
watching somebody else celebrate success that you wish you put it together. And that's what makes the whole thing so addicting. Like it is like the chase of it's not the chase of the position, it's the chase of the perfect run. It's
Mhm.
not, you're really not racing anyone else. You're 100% racing yourself. So that's why I think sometimes it's so easy to get like, you get so bummed because it's like, yeah, I did that. Like, it's not like I went and went down in the first corner and fought back to 8th place at the motocross race, or it's like, no, it was just me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got to live with your actions.
Mhm.
Oh, that's why I love downhill though, because it's all your fault if anything happens. There's just like, and the clock does not lie. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
just nothing.
Clock does not, you ain't get, once you've lost those 2 seconds, there's no getting them back.
Nope.
And I mean, if you
Yeah.
look at like Luca the last couple weeks, it's like he was the fastest guy the last 2 weeks in a row and didn't win the World Cup.
Oh,
And that's where it's like,
my heart
Yeah.
breaks for him,
yeah, you're
Yeah,
like,
well,
man, like,
He said the same thing that he like with his bobble at the top. That he said as soon as that happened, in his head he was like, "Well, I just choked. Good job,
Yeah.
Good job, Luca. You just screwed the whole race up. Good job." It's just like, yeah, dude. It's so hard because you're like, oh my god, this whole weekend, all this money spent for these 3 minutes, and then you mess it up in the first 35 seconds. It's like, oh my god.
you're getting in the gate, telling yourself you're the man. You're sitting in the gate, telling yourself you're gonna do it. You go through 4 corners and blow it.
Just, you're like, oh my god. So good.
And then you have a whole minute and a half to get to the finish line to think about your actions.
Dude, I'm literally like, when you have a messy run, you're just like, I'm so over this now. Let's just get to the bottom, please. Like, come on.
Can we just be done now? Can I just pull off and walk home?
I had an okay run, but it was slightly messy at Placid. But then, Jason, did you watch my run? Where I got all like foot out on the off camber,
Mhm.
and right there, I was like, okay, let's go home now.
Wrap it up.
I'm ready for my flight tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? Clock out.
Done.
Yeah.
Reset. No, it's the same. Like I did the same thing. I was like, you're doing it, you're screwing it, you
Yeah.
keep screwing it.
Yeah.
Oh, now you did it. Good job.
Oh, it's an addiction though, dude. It's a drug, and that's where people are like, oh, you don't want to go back to World Cups, and it's like, well, luckily I'm still getting my hit at the nationals because it's racing. Racing's racing.
In my head.
That's good.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
makes like
man.
Lucas run so wild, is for him to, kind of throw it away up top, but then still recover and be fastest like the bottom half of the track.
Yeah.
Whenever
tell you
people
what.
do that, it blows me away. I could never. Like, once the mistake has happened, I'm like, pack it up. It's done with. Like, there's nothing left to fighting for, or I try too hard and then keep having mistakes, and I'm like, I'm just adding to the fuel of being frustrated. Yeah, when people just turn it around, I'm like, that was impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they just
Yeah.
lock in.
Mm-hmm. Some people are good at it.
All right, Jason. It's almost noon.
I was about to say that you've got 14 minutes until you said you had to do something else. What are you
Yeah.
doing the rest of the day?
Uh,
Oh yeah,
not
Not gonna
racing
blow-
MSA.
I'm
no, I'm kidding.
I said we already talked about it. I'm not going to blow you out.
It's been sunny all day, and now I'm gonna go for my ride in the rain.
Is it started to rain?
It's raining.
Is it cold, Dak? What is it, like 55?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. And no, it was nice this morning. It was beautiful this morning.
Hmm.
I didn't ride this morning, but now it's
What?
now
Okay,
it's
real-
raining and cold. Now it's
You're
raining
doing
and
a-
cold.
A meeting and a podcast, the damn podcast. And then now
had
it started raining. Now you got to go do your job.
Yeah. Yep.
What are you doing?
yep,
An
yep.
e-bike ride?
Yeah, I have an SLE bike here. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a neat little e-bike ride and yeah, eat some lunch. It's it's almost 3 p.m. I've yet to eat lunch, so I've kind of not done a great job there. And gonna go for an e-bike ride for a little while and yeah, just to do a little hours like easy ride. Just try to loosen the hip up and feel better from the drive up here and try to get some energy rather than sit in the room and feel tired all day and get ready for the race week.
What's the goal for the weekend? What would you be stoked on?
That's a good question, actually, after we've talked about being man, it's Mount St. Anne. I want to try to get a top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
got
I think
that, Dak.
I think that's realistic. The weather's gonna be good. I just come back to like 20 last year was a disaster here. But 20 whatever, I don't know, my last year on intense, I crashed
Mm-hmm.
and got a flat and was 0.2 off the podium in 6th.
Mhm.
And it's like, eh. Eh. I would like to, I know that maybe that I was like pretty crushing it at the moment, and I don't know if that's there, but I would like to just try to have a clean, smooth run. I went straight to the outcome, right? Top 10, but try to put down a run I'm proud of and be fighting for a good position.
Dak, was that the year that you slid out at Fort Bill? And your front went like into that left-hander and your front went out and you like went all the way down?
I'm trying to think.
I think so. Like towards the
'Cause you were-
bottom.
Yeah, because you were riding so good that year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that when you crashed that lens as well?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think that was
same
your
year.
Yeah,
intense
dude,
year.
you were going so fast that year.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
last year, Munson in third Q1, second in the semifinals, and then that's when you had like the pole incident, right? Wasn't that last year?
Yeah. Third and Q1.
See,
Yeah.
all you got to do is just stay between the poles, and you're good for this.
Oh,
year.
weird. Yeah.
It's gonna be super easy.
Strange. No, I mean
One
it-
small
it-
mistake to fix, and you're good.
Yeah, just stay between the poles. No, I think it's good. I mean, I hope the track's good and I hope it dries up and leaves stay off the ground and we can just go ahead and let it eat in finals. Have a good weekend and yeah, I'm excited. I really like this track and I think this will be one of the last times I ever get to race it. It's not going to be on the calendar next
Yeah.
year for a World Cup, so try
Sure.
to appreciate it and appreciate the weekend and be excited about how things are going because next year I get to come back to be a better version of myself and come back prepared. So get through the weekend, have some fun, and start the off season because I'm gonna got a lot of work to do.
Hey, just reflect at some point on 10 years ago. It was your first World Cup
Damn.
out of your grandpa's
Somebody-
minivan. So
Somebody
you've done
said-
something.
posted on my story from right before that year. They said 543 weeks
Whoa.
since I won my first downhill race and that year. So it would have been like
Yeah.
maybe 530 weeks since that moment, which is
Mhm.
crazy when you actually like look at that stat, which is pretty cool to see how far it's come and how positive this whole thing has turned out. It's like you can't be too bummed.
No, not at all. Okay, last thing. I'm sorry, Dante, but it's a good thing for you. We do our Berg Tech Labor of Love Award. We give $200, best privateer of the weekend. you're taking it from Lake Placid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did you see I got 200 from Win as
I
well?
did see that.
From
Yeah.
some guy named Patrick
Yeah.
for the for
Yeah.
the biggest underdog of the weekend.
Yep.
And yeah, dude, I'm stoked. I feel like that's like what Dak said. That was the reason I did good too, is because there's just no pressure, and I just went out there and did me. And yeah, it was fun to get off the couch and go race a World Cup.
Dude,
Turned out
I
well.
was pleasantly pleased to see if there was one name I was happy to see above me on the results list. I was pleased to see how well you did. I was genuinely happy for you after qualifying. I was like, that is so sick. Like as I was saying to Frida, that's like unreal for you. Because I just think it's just a reflection of how well you rode this year. And it's cool to see, dude. Good job.
No, thank you, Dakotah. I appreciate it, brother.
Sweet.
No worries.
Well,
And Godspeed, man. All the best this weekend. You got this.
Hey, think about me when I'm going into that
I
rock
will,
garden.
dude. I will.
Just think about me.
Just send you prayers, brother.
Going over the Stevie Smith rock drop going, please help me. Help me, Aaron Gwynn. Help me, Greg Menard.
help me stand up.
Yeah, no. Dude, it'd be
Uh,
insane. You need a podium. Luca needs to be up there. It'd be so good to see both of you guys at the top.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Luca, me, and Aaron on the podium, and in whatever
There you
order
go.
that's in, we can go ahead. I
It's
don't
all
care
good, whatever order. Yeah.
whatever order we're in.
Dude, as much as I love Gwynny, let one of you two get the win though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it.
No, sick.
Oh, sweet.
Perfect.
Well, good luck,
That's
Jack.
cool.
Have fun out
Yeah.
there, brother.
Good chat, boys. Later.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason.
No worries, man.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks everybody for listening. Boom.
Bye, guys.